Hey y'all, let's talk about Unexpected Episode 4. Mommy's alright, Daddy's alright. Or as I choose to call it, JJ's mom, y'all. Let's get into it. So, I think that as I'm watching season 6, if there was a better name for season 6 other than Unexpected, it would really be Babies Having Babies, because these kids seem so young and just remind me how young teen pregnancy really is. I mean, they just seem so very young and immature, but immature in the way that they should be for their age, other than the fact that they're having an actual baby. I think that Exhibit 1, right? Emily and Nate. If she will stop picking at that little boy about being immature, about being young, and in turn showing how immature and young she is, and she has no idea. And I think that reality, as I think her father said, is going to be trial by fire when she move over there and in his parents' house, in his mom's house, because she is not going to be able to pick at that young man like that in front of his mama. I'm just telling you, that is not going to work, Miss Emily. His mom is not going to have that. That is going to be a problem. In addition to the fact that you moving over there thinking you're so grown up and you know so much, that is just designed to be unfortunate for you and for everybody. And his little 16-year-old self, he is not about to stand up to his mom. It's not going to happen. So if you think he's going to take your side over his mama's side once the hint hits the fan, no ma'am, you are going to be over there by yourself and going to have to wind up moving back over there with your dad, who, by the way, super inappropriate. The comments that he was making about Nate's mom, that was so weird. Like, ugh, that was really weird and gross. But Emily is demonstrating with how she picks at him. I mean, she hurt his feelings, and I mean, just didn't even, she's not ready for a big girl relationship, but really thinks that it's him who is the immature one. And the fact that she can't see that her own yet doesn't stink is a part of that immaturity. So we'll see how that goes. But, he's already claimed it and said, if X doesn't happen, or if this keeps happening, I don't think we're going to make it. So it's out there. So we'll see how that goes with them. Exhibit 2 from last night, Anaya and Daquan. First of all, 2.5 hours late to a baby shower is absolutely ridiculous. Like, the people, either that food was really good or she has really good people around her, because I would have been seriously sitting there considering getting my gift and getting out of there. The only way I could imagine having been sitting there for 2.5 hours when she got there was that I got into some conversation with somebody and forgot what I was even there for and lost track of time, because 2.5 hours late for a baby shower for a 17-year-old, like, no ma'am, I'm not doing that. I don't care how much you put into that. But as I was watching her, Anaya, and she's on the phone with her mom, and where are you? She transitioned clearly. She got dressed. She never made any effort to get the young boys dressed so that would ease some of what her mom had to do. For that matter, nobody in the family tried to help get anybody dressed or get anybody over there. Like, she could have asked her uncle to run her over there. She didn't have to sit there and wait. The executive sort of thinking there didn't make sense to me. And I don't know if that's young or if, like she said, her whole family does this, but that just seemed so obviously immature on her part. I mean, the Daquan's mom is calling. She's like, I don't know. Like, she really is expecting her mom to handle all of these things. She's even talked about her mom, like, is gonna have to step up and help her with her baby. And I'm like, I understand that's the plan, but that lady, her mom, Ashley, looks like she has a lot going on. She has 2 young kids, so I don't know how any of this is gonna work. And if she's thinking that she's not gonna have to step up, which I guess is the word of the their phrase, and really be very actively engaged in raising her own baby. So that, and I just couldn't believe that nobody, I think they were at the grandmother's house, the aunt was there, the uncle was there, nobody really kind of tried to help with it, the very least get the little boys dressed. And I just can't. I'm just thinking about my own family and my mom. That would have triggered a whole family meeting, because no, man, yeah, nobody can help me. Nobody can help me at this point. And so Ashley is, I mean, she's sour, and I think it probably comes from a place of like, oh my God, like I'm in this by myself. So, I think that what I also saw with her, with Ashley, and, when we talk about Kaylee as well, is these parents, the parents of the teen parents, they don't even know each other, which, I mean, if you and your kids have been dating for however long they've been dating, long enough to have gotten pregnant, I just think it's so odd that they don't even know each other, and they're not making an effort to get to know each other. I think that Ashley, Anaya's mom, is like, I don't like people, and da-da-da-da, but Daquan's mom really should be an ally for you, because at a certain point, look, you've got a 16, 17-year-old boy. What's going to keep him involved in doing the right thing in his child's life is his mom. So you may want to build a relationship and not push her away. The money, the time, the love that can come from that side, you're going to want that. You're going to need that. And I understand that maybe from her own experience, she hasn't had the best experience with the fathers of her children, perhaps. But I don't think you have to set that up for Anaya. And I don't think Anaya has the skills and the understanding, the life experience outside of her mom's to try to do that. I mean, she's, 17? Like, she doesn't have that, and it doesn't seem like her mom has that either. So I hope that Daquan's mom and family structure seem like they want to be involved. I hope they stay involved. I hope that they don't push each other away, because they're going to need each other. But it just strikes me that that's the direction that's going in, is sort of like, well, look, she's difficult to deal with. We ain't gonna keep trying. Daquan can play basketball. Be all right. So hopefully that's not the way it goes, but we'll see. Exhibit 3 of immaturity. Lily and Lawrence. So, yes, Christmas can be magical. I get it. It's a lot of people's favorite holiday, but money doesn't just matriculate. And you do need to think about that. I do think that, though, Lawrence really gives like 1950s, 1960s, like sitcom dad or whatever. Like, he always just seems like he is like in a bad mood. He's worried about that money, which I get it from what Lily was saying. He does need to be worried about that money and the spending and that kind of thing. He's working. It doesn't seem like she is, and it seems like that's working, but I think that he has some real concerns that she has to hear at the very least. And I mean, we know marriages, relationships break up over money. So, But I think that is, I get it, you want to spoil your kids. I get it, you want to spoil your kids, but that is a sign of immaturity to not be able to even have the conversation with the person you're gonna marry and put together a damn budget for Christmas, for God's sake. You can't just like keep telling that man like I spent what I spent. Like that's not how that works. And let's talk about this wedding. $20, $30, $35,000 for a wedding? Like no. And I look, when you live in an apartment, no. When you don't have any assets, no. I get it. You want to have the wedding that you want to have, but I'd say this to Lily and Lawrence. I would say this to anybody. I tried to practice this myself. Like I'm going to spend more on the marriage than I'm going to spend on the wedding, because that's a party for other people. So again, like this, it feels like she's living in this little fairy tale of love and marriage, and they seem like they're working. They've been together for a while, but man, that money, because that comes up with them every season, money, that will break a relationship. And I would hate to see that be the situation with them, especially when that man is saying that he is worried about it. And I think she needs to listen to what he's saying, and not be so dismissive. And they need maybe go to a financial planner, do something, but you know, y'all need to get on the same page about that money and that spending. And maybe at some point we'll see Lawrence actually crack a smile this season, because I don't think I've seen it. So exhibit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of these cast members being incredibly young this season. Graham and Kaylee, they're 15, for goodness sake. Oh my God. And look, Graham is getting an ulcer worrying about being a dad. Like, I mean, the throwing up, the bubble guts, as he said, like, he is sick. He is sick with worry and stress about being a dad, which I think the fact that he realizes the magnitude and is just scared is about right for a 15-year-old. But on the flip side, Kaylee seems like she doesn't get necessarily the magnitude of what's about to happen and what is about to change in her life, which again is about right for a 15-year-old. But this whole, like, her mom and Mandy and Kaylee talking about Graham needs to step up. I don't think he can do any more than what he's doing. Like, he is, it seems like almost paralyzed with fear, first of all, to the point where it's impacting his health. And even if he was not, he's 15. What is he supposed to do? He can't even legally work. Like, I mean, what is he supposed to do? What do you mean step up? Like, you're like, okay, come over. Y'all live like, what, 30 minutes apart? I don't know how easy it is for him to get there. I just don't. The step up in all of these situations, and I know that everybody's going to be like, well, there's consequences to actions and you shouldn't have been having sex if you didn't want. They're 15. They're 15. There's no way they could have gauged the consequences of what they were doing. Now, what Mandy said later on, and then listening to Graham's mom, first of all, Mandy said that Kaylee and Graham had been dating for 3 years. How do you date at 12? Like, what does that even mean? They've been dating for 3 years. They were 12. Like, I mean, yes, did I have a boyfriend at 12? I did. I saw him at school. And if there was some little party that my mom took me to, but we weren't dating. Like, come on now. We were going together at school, and that was it. And then your Mandy is dropping Kaylee off at Graham's house, at Graham's mom's house. You never went in. Graham's mom said she would come home and Kelly would just be there. So the lady wasn't even at home. You didn't know that because you weren't going in. You weren't, I don't know if you were asking any questions. That all just sounds wild to me, that they had that type of freedom at 12, 13, 14, and now sitting here at 15, they're pregnant. Yeah, that was surprising to me. I mean, little Kaylee's little boys, and I don't know if it's going to ever change, but it hasn't even changed yet. But she's had a full-fledged 3-year relationship with this little boy, and is about to be a mom at 18. Like, wow. Yeah, that was shocking to me. And again, these are children. I mean, these are very, very young children who were allowed and were put into adult situations with no supervision. I mean, I think that Emily said to her dad that they were having sex. I think it was at her house though. They were having sex at her house because again, her dad wasn't out. So yeah, man, if you ain't at home, I just can't imagine. And if my mom walked into the house like Graham's mom did, and it's a little boy sitting up in my house, in her house, do you understand? I'm 46 years old and I'd still be grounded. I don't care. Like, no, we don't do that. No, like, and I was scared, so I'm not doing it. So then, that damn Jenna. So let's get to that Jenna who is hosting her first Thanksgiving at her apartment in Myrtle Beach. Did she push that turkey in the oven with her foot? What are you doing? Like, that is so gross, but that is also, it seems like so on brand for who she has introduced herself to be. And I have to laugh. Like, I wouldn't eat that turkey. It was very light-skinned. It did not look right. I don't know why Kathy didn't tell her that turkey needed to be browner. But, I mean, I would love to see the final product. But when she popped that top to show Kathy, no, ma'am, that did not look right. That did not look good. It looked like it needed a whole lot more cooking and y'all were not going to eat until much, much later. But whatever. But the thing... Because I had heard before this season actually premiered that production had been delayed because they were waiting on Jenna and sort of some of her storyline to move forward a little bit. And I think, spoiler alert, we know that Jenna is, I don't know if she's had a baby, but is pregnant or has a second child with JJ. And I thought it was about that piece of it, but welcome Andrea, JJ's mom. I think that she may be a gift to us this season because Miss Andrea has no filter, apparently, none at all. And apparently Miss Andrea don't know how TV work. When she was talking about going over and meeting Matt and Kathy, Jenna's parents, for Thanksgiving, and she said, wait a minute, let me just tell the truth. I don't care. I didn't care about meeting them. I didn't care one way or the other. And then JJ was like, they're gonna hear this. And she's like, no, they're not. Ma'am, that clip is gonna be played at the reunion. What are you talking about? Of course they're gonna hear this. What are you... So you really don't know how reality TV, you don't know how TV works? Like, yes, ma'am, they are going to hear this. They're going to sit them down and show them this for sure. But she said that Luca is bad. it was funny. It was funny. It still is funny to me. I think that she was being honest. I get the part of, I don't have any kids. I've raised my kids. I don't really want little kids in my house kind of thing. They're rambunctious. They're doing a whole lot. I get that. I mean, I understand that. I don't have any kids either. I get it. I think that while it is funny to me, and I do think that she makes for good TV, which is why I think they kind of waited for Jenna and her story. But on the flip side, you got Jenna, who is clearly confiding in, probably shit talking her dad and her mom and everything else, which Jenna seems to do with everybody. And her son really, JJ really seems to care about Jenna. Matt is praising Andrea for being sort of there for Jenna. And then this lady's perspective is like, I don't care. Like, I think she really is thinking like, okay, Jenna is a girlfriend. She may be here, she may not. I don't really care. I hope maybe she's not here long term because she doesn't really like the fact that she has a son. So the way she's thinking about their relationship is completely different than I think they're thinking about it, and the way Matt and Kathy are thinking about it. So, you know, I think that's going to probably, it would lead to some hurt feelings if it were me. To think that I have one relationship with somebody and it is not that at all, or they don't see me that way at all. It is unfortunate. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out and how it maybe comes to a head at the reunion for sure. And then with Matt, this is what, his second or third season. This is like, so I don't get it. You know, he seems really involved. Not even seems, he is really involved in Jenna's life at this point. But you would think that she would have a better relationship or be closer with him than they seem. Like, it seemed, I don't know. And maybe it's just their dynamic, but I can't tell with Matt if his protectiveness and involvement with Jenna, is this real? Is this for the camera? Is this some guilt that he has from, because he said that he wasn't as involved with her, he wasn't as involved as a father as he should have been when he was younger. It's odd, but he does seem to be taking this relationship with JJ a lot more seriously than JJ's mom does. And maybe it's the promise ring. I don't know, but it just seems like overly involved for Jenna, who at this point, she's an adult. She has a son. You know, I mean, you maybe back off, but then on the flip side, she got pregnant again, so maybe don't back off. I don't know, but Matt just as always, I never have actually been able to figure out how much of what we see of Matt is really genuine, because it just seems like the relationship that he has with Jenna would be better or different if it really were genuine. Maybe. I don't know. Y'all, I have to take notes on this. On this episode. So yeah, I think that those, and I did not do a reaction video for 2 and 3 because I thought both episode 2 and 3 were a little meh. But man, this episode I thought it was, and maybe this episode I was like, okay, let's see a little bit more JJ's mom, because she's fixing to have, I think she's hilarious. I thought what she was saying was very funny. I think it's going to be hurtful, but I thought it was very funny. But love to know what y'all thought about this episode. And these, they're couples, but goodness gracious, these are babies. But these teen parents that we're looking at here. But see you next week. Bye.